Good morning, class 10th. Yesterday I forgot to send you this video of chapter number 2, control and coordination in plants and animals. It is actually chapter number 2, it is not chapter number 7. So, if I just want to give you introduction of this chapter, this control and coordination is basically in your chapter number 1, which we have discussed earlier in the sessions. We have this seen that there are so many systems which are working in your body, and all the systems are working in a coordinated way. And for example, when you are studying in a class, and your teacher is coming, and you stand to give her respect, and then you sit down, then she's going to dictate the notes. You are going to write it, you are listening, you are looking at her, and you are understanding also. Side by side you are writing also. And all these things, whatever you are doing at one time, basically all these activities, to see the things, to listen the things, to take breathing, means the heartbeat, all the things, if you see, all the activities are running parallel to each other in continuation. So you can see that all these activities which are running in your body from outside, which are visible, or from inside, all the activities, all the actions, all the life processes are actually are in sync with each other. Means one is connected to other, and all are functioning in a proper way. So there is a coordination between all these internal organs which are present in your body, and there is a connection which is actually giving you all all the things which are required to do any work. If you are jumping also. Your leg movement is there, your hand movement is there, your facial expressions are there, and you are breathing also. So you can see that all the activities which are running in your body, they are running in an interconnected way, and they are interdependent on each other. Like if you have taken the food, then the food will be broken down. Then some of the food content is having the energy content, so that food will go into the lungs. Means the glucose part will go into the lungs for the to get the energy in the mitochondria. And the part which is going to bring the oxygen is lungs. So you can see that all these things are connected. The waste products which are coming, which are forming by your digestive system or by the liver, is being removed. It is continuously being removed either by the large intestine, or by the urinary bladder, that is urethra, or by the sweat glands in your body. So you can say that all the activities are going on in a coordinated way. And if you are talking about human beings, so we are more complex than the plants, so we have more things to do. That is why we are having more advanced structure in our bodies. And there is one control center of also in your body. Means like in case of the cell, there is a nucleus which is controlling the activities of cell. In the same manner, in your body also, all the activities are controlled by basically two systems. One is the nervous system, and second is the endocrine system. In this chapter, I'll discuss with you control and coordination in plants and control and coordination in the animals. Control and coordination in plants I'll take in the later sections, but from beginning I'm taking the first part, that is control and coordination in the animals. So basically the control and coordination in animals is being done by two systems, that is one is nervous system and second is endocrine system. Nervous system, this I have given you some introduction of this thing in your class ninth, that there is one structure which is known as neuron. So those neuron combine to form nerves, and some more neurons again combine to form spinal cord, and more neuron combine to form brain, and some more parts are there. So basically nervous system is made up of the neuron or the nerve cells, and this control center is the one which controls the movement of your body, like the way you walk, the way you ride, the way you think, the way you swallow the things. All the things are controlled by this system, which is the nervous system. And there is one more system which is known as endocrine system. It is a system which is formed by the endocrine glands. Glands are basically special kind of organs which release the chemical substances. These chemical substances are called hormones. So that this point I'll take up in later slides of mine. So you see there is a few this one thing which is known as stimuli and response. So response and stimuli. Stimuli is basically any kind of change in your what I say. A stimuli is any kind of change in the environment. It can be any change, like if you are sitting and all of a sudden one lizard jumps on you, it is a change which occurs in your environment. Or suddenly you are walking on a road and suddenly it starts to rain, so it is a kind of environmental change, a sudden change. So any sudden change is known as stimuli, and the way you react on that thing is known as a response. Like if a lizard is jumping on you, then you will obviously you will jump aside or you will panic. And if in case of the rain is there, either you have umbrella, you will take it out, otherwise you will step aside and you will find a cover and you will stand there. So these are the stimulus and responses. So there are receptors are basically the kind of the stimuli which we get from the sense organs of our body. These are the means these are some special kind of the nerves which are present in your body, and these nerves basically receive the stimulus from the environment. These means any kind of stimulus, like when anybody is touching you, then you have the feeling of touch. That is due to some receptors which are present in your body. So there are photoreceptors which are present in the eyes. These detect the eye light, means these are responsible for the sight. Then phonoreceptors are present in your ear. These detect the sound of the environment or the surroundings. Olfactory receptors, these are present in your nose, and these are helpful in getting the smell of anything, either it is having any fragrance or a bad odor. Gustatory receptors, these are present in the tongue. And there's this Tanger receptors are present in your skin, and these are responsible for the touch, the feeling of touch. So these are the receptor or the special kind of nerves which are present in your skin and all over the body, that help in detecting the stimuli of different kind, stimuli of light, sound, smell, taste or touch. And there are some other kind of effect nerves which are known as effector nerves. These are the effector nerves which actually convey the response from the nerves which are going to take away the message from the brain of the spinal cord. So like for example, if you have heard any or you have seen a flash of light, these photoreceptors present in your eye will detect the huge amount of light. That is being detection part has been done by the sensory nerves, and then your eyes, the retina means the iris of the eye, will enlarge. That is the response of your body, and that will be decided by the brain or the spinal cord, and that response will be given by that organ when these motor nerves carry the message from the brain or the spinal cord. So there are receptors and effectors. Then other than that, sensory nerves and motor nerves, these as I told, sensory nerves carry the information from the receptors or these organs to the brain or spinal cord, and motor nerves are the nerves which carry the information from the brain to the spinal cord. This don't please don't get so much confused about this topic. I'm gonna take in next sections when I'll tell you about the neural control. Today I'm gonna take the endocrine system. So if you have not understood, then it's okay, I'll discuss it again. So basically the chemic or the coordination in the animals is of two types. One is by these glands which are present in your body, and these glands, actually this is the pancreas. So pancreas is a kind of a mixed gland which produces the substances, and these substances directly flow into the your bloodstream, and you see these are the blood in the bloodstream, and these are released in a target cell. Wherever these are required, these will reach there, and these will conduct their function. So this is actually the chemical which is being released by the gland, and this chemical is known as hormone. Okay, hormones. Now this is actually chemical control and coordination. Then another part is the neural control and coordination. Neural control is done by basically the brain, the spinal cord, and the neurons, which are present in the form of nerves, or these are present here or here. So this part I'll take up in the next section. So first section is the chemical control. Chemical control in your body is being done by the some chemicals which are known as hormones. These hormones are released either directly. These hormones are released in the bloodstream, and from the blood these reach to the target cell or the tissue, and they start doing their function. So the chemical control is actually being done by a system which is known as the endocrine system. The endocrine system is made up of different kinds of the glands and the hormones released by them. Let us see what is the function of endocrine system. Basically it helps in maintaining the hemostatus. Hemostatus is status is basically kind of the balance between the sugar level, salt level, and water level in your body. So it helps in that thing. Other than that, it keeps the water balance, the chemicals which are present in your body, growth of your body is being checked by the endocrine system. The metabolism is being checked by your endocrine system. Metabolism is to release the energy from the food. It is being checked by the endocrine system. Other than that, for the preparation of the newborn, or you can say in the process of reproduction, endocrine system is responsible. Some glands are there which produce the egg and ovum, and these also release the hormones which are responsible for the growth, or mean secondary growth of the human beings, influence the sexual behavior, like you are male or female, that is being checked or being controlled by the gonads, or the gonads present, or the glands which are present, special kind of glands, the male and female glands present in a body of a specific person, either you are female or male. And these also give feedback to the nervous system, means when there is no need of the substances or the hormones, then this message will be conveyed to the nervous system, and then nervous system will decide that these hormones should be stopped and these are not longer in use. So the as I told, these system this endocrine system is made up of glands. These glands are of three types: exocrine gland, endocrine glands, and the mixed glands, that will I'll discuss with you in the next slide. So exocrine gland, if you see, these are the exocrine glands. If you see their structure, they have their chemical secretions. These are being bound by the epithelial tissue, and the chemicals which are produced, these are released outside by a kind of passage. This passage is known as duct. So exocrine glands are the glands which are having any passage to release their secretions or the hormones or the substances outside the body. Like in this case, you can see it is a kind of a sweat gland. Sweat gland, if you see your in your skin, there are some pores present on that. So basically those are the pores by which sweat glands release the sweat. So these are the ducted glands. These are having the ducts by which they release their substances outside, or to the means they can either they are removing or they are releasing the substances, that is by the duct. So it is known as exocrine system. It is known as exocrine glands. These exocrine glands are, like as I told, first example, sweat gland, tear glands which are present in your eye, these release tear, and mammary gland which release the milk. Other than that, sebaceous glands or the oil glands are present in your body which release the oil. So these are the exocrine glands which are having some passage to release the substances. Other than that, endocrine glands are there. These endocrine glands are not having any duct. No duct is present. You can see the structure of this one. No duct is present. They are in close contact with the blood capillaries. Whatever the secretions they have, basically they are going to release the hormones. These hormones will because these are in close contact with the capillaries, these hormones will be released directly to the blood capillaries, and from the blood capillaries it will go to the target cells wherever it is required. Such kind of glands are known as endocrine glands. So there are many endocrine glands which are I'll discuss with you, like adrenal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland. All these are the glands which are having the function to release the substances outside by directly by releasing it into the blood. So this is endocrine gland. Other than that, some glands are there, like liver is there, gonads are there, pancreas is there, which have both kind of functions, endocrine as well as exocrine. Such kind of glands are known as mixed glands. Let me show you this one. See, these are the endocrine glands, which I'll discuss with you in my next slide. Pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid, adrenal gland, pineal gland, and the thymus gland. These are the glands which are present in endocrine in nature, and these are important. I'll discuss with you. And in this, pituitary gland is very important. This is always there in your examination. And mixed glands are the glands which produce the both kind of things. They release the hormones also, as well as they have their own secretions, like pancreas, gonads, hypothalamus also. Pancreas is the gland which you have seen in the digestive system. It releases the digestive enzymes also, that is pancreatic juice. Other than that, it also releases insulin. Insulin is a kind of hormone, and glucagon, which regulates the blood sugar level. So it is means in that manner it is having both kind of function. Gonads like the ovary and the testes, these are the two kinds of glands which are present in male and females. So those are also the mixed glands, because these release hormones also, and these are releasing egg and ovum or the sperm cell also. So these are the such kind of glands which are doing both the functions. Other than that, hypothalamus is the part of the brain which is regulating your reasoning and thinking and such kind of functions also. Other than that, it is also doing one more function, that is pituitary gland is located here. So it is actually releasing the hormones of the pituitary gland. So these are the mixed glands which are present in your body. Now let us see what are the hormones. Hormones are basically, these are known as the chemical messengers. These carry the messages from different parts of your body to the brain. Then the brain decides where these are required and what function is to be done, and then these hormones reach there and they conduct their function. Like in case of the growth hormone, the function of growth hormone is basically, as it is the name suggests, that it is going to help in the growth. So this growth hormone reaches to the cells which are growing, and if it is required, means if brain signals that there is a requirement of growth in that cell, then that growth hormone will be released to that cell, and those cell will start dividing and growth will occur. So this is how the hormones function in your body. So that is why these are known as chemical messengers. So these coordinate our organs, whatever the organs are present, these help in coordinating the activities of the heart, lungs, intestines, stomach, anus, rectum, all the urinary bladder, that kidney, all these means organs are being monitored and controlled by these activities of the hormones. And hormones are basically produced by the special organs which are known as glands. Okay. Now let us see what are the general characteristics of the hormones. First of all, what is there? But these hormones are very required in a very less quantity. Means because a small amount of the hormone is enough to do the function, and their effect is their effect is longer than the the nerve means the neurotransmitters which are released by the nerves. So their effect is long lasting. Like once you have grown, you are grown, you are not going to be back in your position. Other than that, these regulate the metabolic processes. Okay, metabolism, I told you, respiration and all that. These are basically formed by the steroids are basically the what you say, these are some fatty acids. Okay, which are produced by the cholesterol, and these sometimes these can be vitamins also. These can be amino acids also. These are made up of fats, vitamins, or the amino acids. They are having some special kind of the patterns. Okay, means their function, means their rate and pattern is different in different cases. Sometimes they are going to in a cyclic form, they are going to in a circulating substances, means they are going to circulate in the body, or they are going to means going to an organ, then again returning, then again going. So in this manner their function or the pattern is different. They depend on the feedback of the things, means if there is a requirement of anything, any activity, then only these will function, and then again these will stop functioning. So these depend on the feedback of your body. If your body requires any activity, then that activity will be done, otherwise it will not be done. And they only affect the cells which are having the receptors of special kind. Okay, they are not going to function everywhere. Wherever there is requirement, there is a kind of receptors, only there they will go, and these will function. And um, and yes, this is important. Hormones which are excess in the quantity, or which are not being used up, they will be, either these will be deactivated by the liver, or these will be excreted by the, means these first are being deactivated, and if either still they are in excess quantity, then these will be excreted by the kidneys, by your urine. So these are the general characteristics of the hormones. Now in my next class I'll discuss with you all the kinds of the endocrine glands and their function. Endocrine glands and their function, you all have book, I would suggest you all, so please go through the endocrine glands. There are many glands are given in your book, please go through them, so that whatever I'll teach you, you will be mean it will be easier for you to understand. And if you have any query regarding this topic, then you can ask me during the class. Thank you, class.